Greetings, y'all. It's a lovely day yet again. A lovely day. Big change from last week. Just to say welcome one all. If it's the first time you're seeing my video, go back and check the other ones. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some good conversations going on in there, and I want to thank all for those who've subscribed, who's given me the support. Well, you know, you guys see this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, share, like, subscribe, however you want to do it, man. Just help this channel grow. I've got a lot of big things in store to come later on down the line. But nah, man, thank you, man. That, like, your responses and that have been amazing. I cannot fault you guys, man. You know, some of you are just regularly checking in and that, and I'm getting a few posts or comments and that, like, ask me, like, oh, yo, what's up? Like, I've been really busy. Been working on this app that I'm trying to get off the ground. You know, but how y'all doing? Hope everyone is blessed and enjoying the sun. It's amazing, just beaming down on me right now. Just give me that glow, you know what I mean? So yeah, let's get to it. There's a lot of things been going on since I last came on here, and right now, yet again, you know, it's dominating the headlines, which is Black Lives Matter, which is a good, well, it's a good thing. I must say it's a good time to be black right now. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good time, but it comes with its ups and downs, you know. And when I say that, I'll get to that bit later. So first of all, I want to deal with this. I'm not sure if many of you have seen, if you follow football, we've got the Black Lives Matter. They've got the Black Lives Matter written on the back of their jerseys. So yesterday there was a football match played between Man City and Burnley, and while the players were taking a knee, the plane flew over the stadium, and at the back of the plane there was a banner that said "White Lives Matter, Burnley." So that would imply a Burnley fan had that done. Now, my whole thing is, since the whole protest and stuff has been going on, you know, you've had certain factions coming out saying white lives matter or all lives matter, right? We know all lives matter. Everybody knows this, and this is not the issue here, right? The issue is, we all know the issue is about police brutality, and not only with the police brutality, you're arresting these guys and you're taking them, well, instead of you just arresting them, taking them off into the car to custody, these guys end up being killed, right? Now, I think since George Floyd, there's been, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 3 other murders at the hands of the police. Now, the George Floyd one was quite bad. Yes, it was. There was no need for all that. You know what? I'm not getting into all of that, right? And then there's another young man. Oh, this is real bad. I've forgotten his name. He was killed while sleeping at the Wendy's. Now, a lot of people have said that's bad. Now, I can only go on from what I know, yeah, and from what I've seen of that young man that was killed at the Wendy's drive-through. And it's tragic that another man has lost his life, but can you honestly say the police are really to blame in that instance? They might have been reckless in the sense of where people are saying that a bullet hit their fender, but upon reading reports as well, I've also noticed that I think it was the taser that missed and clipped and hit the vendor, right? So fender, I said vendor, we mean in bumper. In America, that's bumper, yeah, as we know it here. Now, from what I saw with that, I watched the whole, I think the video was like an hour and something long. So first of all, the guy has driven into the Wendy's, right? So he's driven into the Wendy's, and he's fallen asleep behind the wheel in the drive-through line. Yeah. So the people obviously that are behind are getting peed off. So they're calling the police saying, look, there's a man blocking the drive-through line, whatnot. Yeah, cool. Now, he has fallen asleep. The policeman has come, he's tapped on the window and said, yo, excuse me. It took about, 2 minutes for this guy to respond, yeah? So the policeman's telling him to wake up, blah, 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 right? He closed the door, walks off, comes back, knocks the door again. The man is a bit delirious. It's like he doesn't know where he is, yeah? So then the police ask him to move. Yeah, he's like, yeah, cool. The policeman walks off. As he's walking off, he turns back. You've seen all this on his cam. The body cam. He turns back. The man still hasn't moved. Opens the door. Now, he's being very polite. Asks the man to move. So the man's like, shit, damn, it's hot in here, but I'm trying to get the sound right. Man's like, damn. Anyway, he moves, long story short, he moves his car down. So as he goes to park the car, he mounts the pavement, or the curb as they call it. He mounts the pavement and reverses the car back. So after the officer doing his checks, blah blah, he talks to the man, whatnot. The man tells a story. Woo. What's that, the third? Now, then the man calls for a DUI unit, whatnot. So they come. The man, officer, proceeds to question him, asking him, does he know where he is? The man didn't even know what state he was in, let alone where he was at first. So from me watching it, he's told 3 different stories, right? Then they do this crazy sobriety test. Like, I just think that's all nonsense. You're bringing the man through these stages of balancing, walking heel to toe, turning, lifting your foot off the ground. All that's unnecessary. Just give the man a damn breathalyzer, because you're spending all that time checking him, which everything you're doing don't make no sense. I think you're gonna fail it regardless. But meanwhile, your alcohol blood level is going down. So if you know you've had a drink, you don't mind going through all that, because you know you're right. So then he starts talking about other things. Anyway, when they question him, he tells another story. Then he says he's trying to explain where he was. He was way off. He wasn't even in the correct town or county, whatever, state actually. So they get out the breathalyzer finally. They breathalyze him. I believe he's over the limit. So they proceed to handcuff him. They handcuff him, and then I don't know what you lot saw. He broke out, ran, struggled with them a bit, ran. They've got him to the floor. He grabs one of the police tasers, runs off, and then before it goes out of shot, you see him turn around and fire the taser. Yeah. Now, I haven't seen the footage what led to after that of what happened, but you got eyewitness accounts, which I haven't really seen. I've been searching for it and you can't really find it. You see, all of this is unnecessary. If you're over the limit, right, why, like, if the machine's telling you you're over the limit, just take your charge and go. You see what I'm saying? It's like, if he would have just accepted the handcuffs and gone, he may still be alive right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, that is what I think is unfair. What they did to George Floyd is unfair. So you got 2 sides of the spectrum. You got a man who was complying and died, and you've got a man who didn't comply and died. But either way, the police are coming under immense scrutiny. Now, I don't agree with everything the police do, but not all police are bad. Like, I had an incident a couple weeks ago in my car. where we had the lockdown, so I cancelled my insurance. Silly me, got in my car, right? Well, what I did is that I got a day insurance because I was going to see my children and stuff like that, and pick them up and have them down with me for the week or so. I didn't check to see that my MOT had run out, so I got stopped. Now, being that it was a day insurance, it didn't show up on the database, the police database, yeah? So I got stopped. So the man, they flagged me. They're gone past on the other side, but they got the ANPR camera, so obviously the car's flagged up as no insurance, right? So they've asked me, they pulled up beside me, they've turned around, they pulled up beside me, they've asked me to pull over. And so I've pulled over on the side road. They've come to me saying, do you realize you got no insurance? So I said, you know, we greeted each other. I greeted him politely, yes sir, like whatnot. And he said to me, I said, no, I ordered insurance today. But what happened is, when I've clicked to proceed, it didn't go through. So although it sent me a confirmation, which was strange, saying that I had insurance, it hadn't actually gone through. So the officer was like, ooh. And then not only on top of that, it's come through, I've got no MOT, saying it's just run out, and literally ran out 2 days before the 31st of March. And they said, after the 31st of March, if your MOT runs out, it gives you a 6-month grace period. It's my fault. I should have checked whether I had MOT when I knew that I'd cancelled my tax. So the officer goes, look, right now as it stands, you got no MOT, you got no insurance for your cars. He goes, but here's what I'm going to allow you to do. I'm going to let you get the on-the-spot insurance. You understand? But I'm going to write you a ticket for no MOT. Yo, can't complain. By law, this man should have just seized my car, but he didn't. He allowed me to get on-spot insurance. Once he saw that it had gone through, boom, 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 he was cool. He's like, wrote me it wasn't even a ticket. He just said, look, you're gonna get, if you don't hear from us in 14 days, that means we're not proceeding with it. If you do, then you're gonna have to go to court. Woo woo woo. I was like, yeah, cool, officer. He goes, you know why I'm doing this for you? Because you're a very polite young man, and you spoke to me like with respect. Do you know what I'm saying? And you didn't give me no bullshit, you didn't no hassle. Woo woo. You asked, you know. So listen, he goes, go and enjoy your day, go and see your children, and just enjoy your day, enjoy your week. So he did say, however, while you may get stopped for no MOT, yeah, he said you should drive this car home. He said, is that where you're heading? At that point I lied. I said, yeah, I'm going home now. Yeah, but I wasn't. So he goes, just drive it straight home. He said, you may get stopped, so take my number, blah blah blah. But what happened is a call came through, so I didn't get the number. He took off anyway. So I picked up the children quickly. So I thought the first thing I want to do is get my car home, right? So so on my way home, I get stopped again for no MOT, no insurance. Now this police officer was a complete job's worth. Yeah, he was so different from the first two that stopped me. He just wasn't having it. So anyway, I had to prove to him that I've got insurance. He goes, oh, you got no MOT. So I explained to him what happened. Now, because I didn't have the other officer's badge number, he goes, well, you could be lying. He was right, I could be lying. But I goes, is that a story I could just make up? Do you think it's something I could just say, oh, I've been stopped before? Like, you don't make up those stories. Do you know what I'm saying? I said, he's asked me to go home. I said, I tried to call the garage to get MOT. I can't get it done till tomorrow. I've booked it in to tomorrow. So he said to me to drive home. The man still done me for the MOT. However, in the 14 days, for the first time I got stopped, nothing came through. They didn't even go through with the MOT thing. This officer rang this one through. So this letter came within what, 6 days of me getting stopped. I've heard nothing back from the first one. So I'm almost wishing I did hear back from the, well, anyway, it doesn't matter anyway. But back to this footballer, what is it you guys don't get about Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter? Sorry, I know I've just gone all over the place. What is it you don't get? Yes, all lives matter. Yeah, but it's not the issue. The issue is with that was being addressed is the police brutality that has been going on for years and years. That I'm not even sure of the stats of what it is in America, but it's high. Yeah, and I think that's the whole reason Black Lives Matter started, was to tackle police brutality, right? So it's black men dying at the hands of the police. It's not about all lives matter, because we're dealing with black people dying at the hands of the police. Do you still not get that? What is it you do not get about that? It's not hard. How many times does it have to be explained? Yes, we know all lives matter, but this is not what we're dealing with. Yeah, I'm sure, yes, there probably are white people dying at the hands of the police, but you lot didn't decide to get up and march for that cause, did you? You know, the organization known as Black Lives Matter decided that's what they wanted to do and did it. If you have a problem with white people dying, then stage a march. I'm sure you'll get black people marching with you as well over it. It's about police brutality, and that's what it's dealing with at the hands. There's black people dying from police brutality at the hands of the police. Yeah, and that's all it is, and that's what you need to understand, whichever way you stand. Yeah, that's what it's about. So please stop saying all lives matter or white lives matter, because you're missing the point entirely. And this is where it starts going off into factions, like what we're seeing now with the whole Antifa and this movement and that movement. And then you got people talking about defunding the police. Why the hell would you want to defund the police? For what? For what? You're talking about defund the police and put money into education, this, that, and whatnot, the third. Put your own money up and do it. Raise your own money and do all this stuff. Why take it from somewhere else to put it wherever? Because I'm sure if something happened, if a man's getting the crap kicked out of him, right, by a gang of people, who's the first person he's gonna call? If a woman should happen to be getting battered, or someone trying to break into her house and she lives alone, trying to rape her or whatever, who's the first person she's gonna call? So all these women that are standing up there talking about defund the police, and the people calling for that, it don't make no sense. Ultimately, if that's what happens and police stage mass walkouts and all that, you know, we're coming into the world of AI. What do you want? Robocop and Robodog policing you? Is that what you end up wanting? Having a total police state governed by fucking, excuse my language, by robots? Because I don't want that. I'd rather me getting stopped for no MOT and insurance. I'd rather speak to someone that has empathy. I'd rather speak to someone who can hear my side and say, yeah, you know what, I agree with you. Do you know what I'm saying? Let me give you the benefit of the doubt. You try explaining that to a robot, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Do you know what I mean? So people, listen, all I'm saying is, right, why is it you have a problem with change? What is it about change that annoys you? If certain people are asking for equality and change, let them do it. It shouldn't offend you. It shouldn't affect you in either way, because you're still going to have the equal rights. You're still going to be who you was. You're still going to have the same privileges that you had before. Why is someone just asking for a little bit of what you got, or equal to what you got? Why should it offend you? Why should it bother you so much that it makes you emotional and want to say crazy stuff? Why is that? A lot of people need to be educated, and do you know what? School systems and parenting has a lot to blame for that. I'm sorry, it has a lot to blame for that, because people are not born racist. That's learnt behavior. That is learnt behavior, and that either comes from friends or from parents. You may agree, you may not agree, but that's how I feel. That is learnt behavior. No one is born hating the other color, side, whatever. No one is born hating other people. It's learned behavior. That shit is instilled in people. Yeah. You know, there's a gentleman by the name of Paul Mooney, comedian. I believe he was an activist, and he tells this story, right? And he said his son had a chocolate birthday. It was his birthday. He had a chocolate cake, right? And he took the chocolate cake and he rubbed it all over his face and said, "Look, mommy, I'm a black man." The mommy smacked him in his face, told him, "Go and tell your father." So the father saw him and smacked his face. I said, "Go and tell your granddad." The granddad saw him, smacked him in his face. I said, "Go back to your mother." So his mother sat him down and said, "Son, what did you learn from your actions?" He said, "I was black 5 minutes and I already hate you white people." It's quite funny though, I'm not gonna lie. But my point is, look, people need to just wake up, man, and just like get over the silly shit. The shit you're worrying about is just nonsense. It's absolutely crap. I don't know why you're worrying about it. Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot of you have this misconception that, you know, black people are only brought here through slavery in the 1500s, which is absolute nonsense. And then ask yourself, where did this whole black and white race thing start? Like, where white is pure and black is evil. Where did it start? Do you want me to tell you where this started from? Right? Now, when I tell you this, I'll be like, you're gonna get certain people in the comment section, like I have done before. "Oh, he's anti-Semitic, blah blah." I can't be anti-Semitic because I am a Semite. Yeah, the original Hebrews were black, so I can't be anti-Semitic. What I'm doing is trying to give you a background and some knowledge of what's gone on in the past, and that's all I'm doing here. So you can either take it or leave it. Yeah. So I'm going to read something to you from a book called Nature Knows No Color Line, right? And I want you to listen to this. Yeah. Right, so it says here, oh, that's not the one. Anyway, I'll find that bit in a minute, actually. Right, yeah, here it is. It goes, "The strongest reason, yeah, of all is that the curse on black skin could now have been used as proof of retribution on the blacks for having enslaved them. The Egyptians," said one rabbi, yeah, "were descended from Ham, who was pronounced to be a slave of slaves. Other rabbis say likewise. Still clearer proof that this legend was used later as retribution is that the curse on Ham and blessings on Shem by Noah worked in reverse. The Hebrews, son of Shem, were enslaved for centuries by the Egyptians, while there was no proof that the Hebrews enslaved the Egyptians, or whom they called the son of Ham. Moreover, the Masoretic version, the curse is on Canaan, but the Canaanites lived in Palestine, which is in Asia, not Africa, being Asiatics and nearer to the whites of the north. They were doubtless lighter in color than the Egyptians. Why then the curse of blackness on the offspring of Canaan? Yeah, well, they owned the land of Canaan, which the Hebrews claimed Jehovah had given them. In older times, the way of inciting one group against the other was to place a curse on it, the modern parallel of excommunication. Yeah, so that's where it started. It's even in the Bible where it talks about they put the case on the Hamites who had the darker skin. So this is where the whole misconception came of that. Yeah, that's the whole misconception of that. That's where it came from. All right, so people, you really need to study and know what's going on in the world, man, before you start saying all this nonsense. Yeah, and a lot of things, right? You also believe that blacks came to England from slavery. Do you know you had the Douglas clan who were black in 1062? The Douglas clan, yeah, who were black people in Scotland, might I add. Yeah, so come on, man, we got to start researching and learn the differences and what's going on. Yeah, also I want to show you something. All right, this is something I want to show you guys. Now, we could do a whole nother topic on this if you want, where we could get deep into what's going on. Yeah, I'll show you something on my phone. Can you see that? You've got the man on the left, which is a white man, and the sculpture of a black woman. This was a marriage that was in 3700 BC. The man on the left is white, and the princess is of the Cheops, a family. The Cheops was builders of the Great Pyramid. Now, it doesn't say what pyramid that is, because there's many pyramids. There's hundreds to thousands pyramids all across Africa. And this is courtesy of the Boston Museum of Fine Arts. So if you want to check out the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, you'll see that on there. Yeah. Now also, I don't know if a lot of people have heard about the Moors. The Moors were a tribe from Morocco that conquered Europe. They went throughout Europe, conquering Europe. Yeah. And a lot of people, even black people, believe, right? Also, do you know who this woman is here? Do you know who this woman is? This is Queen Charlotte Sophia. She's the consort to George III and grandmother of Queen Victoria, from a portrait by Thomas Fry, 1719-1762. She was a German princess, grandmother of Queen Victoria. Yeah, it's a black woman. So people, you need to get off this thing about black people only came from slavery and this, that, and whatnot, and this is the time was here. It's all nonsense. Yeah, it's all nonsense. But you know, we can get into this. If you want to get into it, we can get into it, about slavery and stuff like that. It's a whole nother thing we could get into. I advise people, man, this is a book. This is a book, man, that you should all read and get. It will teach you a lot. It gives you references of everything, of where he done his research. It's a man by J.A. Rogers. Yeah, this man speaks like 10 different languages and has traveled the world doing his research. You know? So people, man. Oh, another thing as well. I see this vaccine thing has reared its ugly head again. You've got, hold on, listen to this. Let me play this for you, y'all. You've got this man, you know, the foreign secretary. Oh mate, the conservatives, you got to do better. You've got to do better. You know what I'm saying? This man, he struggles to answer simple questions. Like, which black ministers are in your cabinet? He couldn't even answer. The man bumbled and he faffled, and for what? Almost four minutes from the interview. Now this man, he's you know that he's basically saying how he wants to make the BAME group one of the first to, you know, have the tests and vaccinations and stuff like that. Now, why all of a sudden are we so privileged? We've never been this privileged before. that we should be first in line to go and do it. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you have Melinda Gates, who has no doctorate or whatsoever, talking about she wants to make African Americans first to get it. All because we have this perception that we are more prone to die from this and stuff. It's absolute nonsense. This whole vaccine thing with this nonsense is just makes my blood boil, because we know that this is a virus that changes and changes and changes and changes and changes. So you're given a vaccine for one thing, but what if it develops into something else? Then what? Do you then have to have another vaccine for something else? It's nonsense. You can't give a vaccine for something that is constantly changing. How are you going to make a vaccine for it? That's my opinion on it, to be honest with you. Do you know what I'm saying? So with that said, I just want to say, like, share, subscribe, and just let me see your feedback. Let me hear your feedback on what I've spoken about. If you don't agree with me, just put it in the comment section, man. Let's talk about it. Do you know what I'm saying? But we could get into this if you want, yeah? And do your research on the Moors of Morocco, yeah? Let's go. One love, people. Take care.